It's time for the Scott Buening Show. Learn all about Southridge Raider football. This week's show is sponsored by Milligan Communications, Street Dreams, and the Southwestern Indiana Sports Network, powered by Milligan Grosvenor Communications. Go Raiders!
You dream it, we create it at Street Dreams. Custom paint, fabrication, stereos, wheels, tires, and more. We're also your authorized Sinister Sound dealer. Street Dreams, 317-624-1000, where you expect quality and get.
Wanting to scan those old videos, films, or audio to DVD? We'll look no further than Milligan Communications. We can also scan your old pictures, slides, and negatives to picture quality as well. With thousands of happy customers, let Milligan Communications help put your treasured memories on a digital media. Call Milligan Communications today at 812-630-2449. Milligan Communications, capturing your yesterdays.
Welcome to the Scott Buening Show. And Coach, last week you played at home. It was the Battle of the Undefeated. You played Gibson Southern. Why don't you recap that game for us?
It was a great atmosphere. It was a very intense game. It was really kind of it had a playoff atmosphere and intensity to it. That's always a lot of fun to compete in, and it's a game we needed, for that kind of atmosphere and that kind of just playing in that kind of in an environment. So that was fun. Having the challenge of playing a team and a program as good as Gibson Southern, we needed that as well. We paid for our mistakes, and when we made a mistake, then, they oftentimes capitalized on it. And when they made mistakes, we capitalized on those too. And so they made it hard on us, and it was a great challenge. We learned a lot from that game. And you always want to come out on top on the scoreboard, and you want to find a way to win, but we didn't. And so but that's the type of game we're going to need to win moving forward if we want to be any kind of factor in the sectional. And so I do think we got a lot out of that game.
And I do know it is football season. We're right smack dab in the middle of it. But you had some exciting news on the wrestling front this week too.
Yeah. We take a lot of pride here in Southridge. I'll say our best athletes do. We've got multi-sport kids who compete in a lot of different sports, and Reed Schrader, tremendous football player. He's been a 3-year starter for us on some very good football teams, and he just committed to Army and as a wrestler. And his brother was a tremendous football player too here, and he's a wrestler at Bellarmine. And he was very excited. It's something he's worked extremely hard at. He's going to be a great fit for Army. He's that type of kid. He's just hardworking kid. He's a great teammate, great leader. And when I say hardworking, I mean like he's a next level worker. When it comes to that kind of thing, and very driven, very focused, and just a great competitor. So we're very proud of Reed and his commitment to Army.
And speaking of Reed, he sits on top of the leaderboard of the rushers, but you have 5 total rushers over 100 yards this season.
Yeah, we've got a lot of balance in a lot of respects. We really, I think, need to, I think get a little more. We've got a lot of guys rotating in those positions, and it's been great. It's helped us with our depth. It's helped us defensively that we don't have as many guys, running rampant on offense, and we're I think. Starting to hone in on our identity a little bit more and things we need to do. Again, the Gibson Southern game was great because it really, we were able to get to really see some guys in action and what they could do, with the ball in their hands. And we've got a lot of good wing backs, good skill guys. I think we're looking for. I think we need to be a little more dynamic. I think in those areas with the ball. We've done a good job of getting what we can get out of plays. But I think you're always looking for that ability. If you should have got 10, you get 30. On the play, guys have done a good job. It's nice to have that kind of balance within our offense, and I think that will continue to help us as we move forward.
And we'll be back on the Discovery News Show right after these messages from our sponsors. You're listening to Southwest Indiana Sports Network, powered by Milligan Brosford Communications.
This is your IHSAA. This is your state. This is your high school. This is your athletic association.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and we're here to make sure that all of this remains yours.
This is your state. This is your community. This is your IHSAA.
This is the most important, amazingest game ever played in the universe. The pitcher is fierce. Danny Roberts is up at bat. And the crowd goes wild. He just won the game. Let's go! Yes!
We protect the car you drive.
Go get him, Danny.
And the dreams that drive you. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly.
Wanting to scan those old videos, films, or audio to DVD? We'll look no further than Milligan Communications. We can also scan your old pictures, slides, and negatives to picture quality as well. With thousands of happy customers, let Milligan Communications help put your treasured memories on a digital media. Call Milligan Communications today at 812-630-2449. Milligan Communications, capturing your yesterdays.
And welcome back to the Scott Buening Show. And we're joined by DC Broadcasting Sports Director and voice of the Southwest Raiders on WBDC, Kurt Buchel. Kurt, how are you doing today?
Doing great, Joe. Thank you.
You covered the Southwest Raiders for quite a while. You covered them through state championships and in football and baseball. And why don't you go over the Raiders this year for us?
They've been off to a great start. They're 4-1. Their defense has been playing really well. They played Gibson Southern last week. It was a great game, 24-14. Southridge was in that game, did a nice job throughout the contest. But just an overall solid start to the season heading into week number 6.
And, last week I talked to Scott Buening and made him put his AD hat on for a while. And I asked him, I said, Scott, are you trying to put an all-star cast together on coaching over there at Southridge?
Yeah, they've got a lot of good football coaches on that staff. They added Ross Touche. You got the legend veteran and Steve Winkler. Just Brad Ohanian, the former player, the offensive coordinator, and a lot of guys behind the scenes that make that thing work. And it's a really good staff.
And, over at Southridge, it's not only football. It's LaGrange in basketball, and they've added Rust and O'Brien as assistants. And you got Mattingly in baseball, and Mattingly's Gene's daughter-in-law is a softball coach, and you added Elizabeth Albran as the volleyball coach. It's also a cast.
Yeah, it definitely is. And when they go to hire coaches, it seems like it's always been like that. They want to get people that can work well with each other, and all the sports seem to be in lockstep on what they want to do. In their weight room situation or their strength training, everybody's involved in it. And it's just a big family atmosphere that they've got going there, and the culture is great, and very little infighting, which you could have in an athletic department when you try to share as many athletes as they do. And you've got first-class people in all those sports that lead them, and it's a really good situation.
And you talk first class. I mean, all the coaches are, and I know Scott has to throw the AD hat on sometimes too, but he's also first class, and that's what makes Southridge first class.
Yeah, he's an unbelievable leader of that program, and from the very first moment that I met him when he started coaching football here, you can tell he's in it for the right reasons. It's a kid's first thing, and he guides those kids. And and now with him being the AD, he oversees all those coaches who oversee all those kids, and it's just streamlined, and it's a really good situation.
And and you've been at WBDC for how many years?
32.
32, and you've been doing Southridge football for 32 years?
Yes, correct.
And who are some of your Southridge, your favorite teams you've covered on Southridge?
Yeah, that's a hard question. I mean, it's a pleasure. It's been great, every one of those teams, because of all the coaches I worked with, going back to Coach Hanner, Coach Murphy, now Coach Buening, and all the assistants that seem like been around forever. And there's been a lot of great teams, great players, but it just seems like there are very few even disappointing seasons. So, I look forward, and I've enjoyed every football season. Of course, the state championship season was very good and a lot of fun, but just being around a football program that does things the way they do in a class manner, it's just been a really fun time.
And, and this season is highlighted by, we mentioned Coach Winkler earlier. Him being inducted into All Indiana Football Hall of Fame is a great thing.
It's unbelievable. I mean, he is Southridge football. He bridges all those head coaches. And, I go out there to practice or games. I just know that Steve Winkler is going to be there. He loves football. He loves, the philosophical, the tactical part of football, and putting guys into great positions. I mean, he's a very funny guy, but he gets down to business, and nobody deserves his Hall of Fame nod more than Coach Winkler. I hope he coaches as long as he wants, and I hope he coaches forever. I mean, because he is Southridge football. He's awesome.
Well, we used to joke that Coach Winkler will probably, when he gets old enough where he can't walk, he'll park a car in the end zone and he'll flash the defensive signals to the team through their lights.
Well, that's fine with me. I mean, like I said, he can stay as long as he wants and just be a part of that program. It's just great.
Well, Kurt, good luck this week and again in your broadcast, and we'll talk to you later.
All right, Joe. Thanks a lot.
And you've been listening to the Scott Buening Show on the Southwest Sports Network, powered by Milligan Brosberg Communications.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
You dream it, we create it at Street Dreams. Custom paint, fabrication, stereos, wheels, tires, and more. We're also your authorized Sinister Sound dealer. Street Dreams, 317-624-1000, where you expect quality and get.
And welcome back to the Scott Buening Show. And Coach, I'll tell you what, Southridge is awfully lucky to have someone doing the quality broadcast like Kurt and so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kurt's as good as they come. I love talking to him every week, and seeing, especially in this role as athletic director, I see him all the time, and he's so knowledgeable, of sports. And what I love most about him, though, is the passion he has for our programs. And, he knows our kids, he knows our coaches, he knows, he knows the intricacies, he knows their personalities, and he's just the passion he has for Southridge athletics, and it shows, if you listen to him on the radio. I mean, I love it. I love it. He gets excited with us. He gets disappointed with us. He's a true professional, and we're blessed to have him here.
Well, this week it's week 6, and you get to travel down to Legion Stadium to take on the Tell City Marksmen. I don't know if you remember the old Legion field. I prefer it, but we'll stick with the new one.
Yeah, I don't know of the old one, but the new one, it's I tell you, we've had some tremendous games down there, some really tight games. We went down there a couple of years ago, with the team that went undefeated and went to the semi-state in 3A, and I mean, it was down to the wire, and we had to stop a 2-point play, to win the game at the end. And, we've had some tremendous battles down there. Coach Webb is, he's doing a good job. He got kind of thrown into this a little bit late, but his the kids are playing hard. They're physical. They run the system that they've run here for a while. They do it well. And as you watch on film, and they played Hancock County's 5-0 last week, and that game went right down to the wire. And they are right there. And he's again, they've done a good job of getting those kids ready, and we expect nothing but a very tough, hard-nosed football game Friday.
Oh, and my favorite part of the old Legion field, I forgot to say this at the beginning of the segment, was the field wasn't big enough to fit into a track, so one of the end zones actually had field turf over it, and that was on the track.
Oh gosh, yeah, that's something, and you have a lot of those old throwback, and I love that about this area down here. Is there's a lot of pride, a lot of tradition. You've got a lot of facilities, just like Memorial Gym, and even League Stadium, that we have here that people love to go to and have memories that go back years and back to their youth, and that's pretty awesome.
And we are in week 6, so sectional draw is right around the corner. I was looking at sectional 32 this morning, and other than Heritage Hills, not many local teams.
Yeah, it's very spread out. We're us and Heritage Hills are as far west as you go, and then basically it spans all the way over to Scottsburg and Madison. So you're talking a pretty substantial geographical area down here that it covers. And we've been in the sectional with all of those teams except for Scottsburg and Madison in the past. It's not gone quite over that far, but it's sectional to us. We if they draw us, then we're excited. That's we don't get caught up in draws, don't get caught up in anything other than trying to play good football and trying to put ourselves give ourselves a chance to win that thing just like everybody else is. And so it's we've gotten over the midway point here of the regular season, and the tournament will be here before we know it.
Well, Coach, good luck this week against the Marksmen.
Okay, thanks, Joe.
And you've listened to the Scott Buening Show on the South Louisiana Sports Network, powered by Milligan Brosberg Communications. We'll see you next week.
This is your IHSAA. This is your state. This is your high school. This is your athletic association.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and we're here to make sure that all of this remains yours.
This is your state. This is your community. This is your IHSAA.
You have been listening to The Scott Buening Show. Join us every week to learn more about Southridge Raider football. This week's show has been brought to you by Milligan Communications, Street Dreams, and the Southwestern Indiana Sports Network, powered by Milligan Brosmer Communications. See you next week.